From Alaska Teen Media Institute, this is Podcast in Place, Youth Stories from Quarantine, a series about youth in Alaska during the COVID-19 pandemic. We're bringing you stories, interviews, and audio diaries from teenagers and young adults stuck indoors without anything else to do. I'm ATMI producer Ormund Alaois, recording this on an iPad inside my house, since the main ATMI studio is closed for the time being. On today's show, we're going to be hearing from two members of Mask Mission AK. They are a group of West Anchorage high school students who are organizing Alaskans in the making of homemade masks, which they donate to areas of our community in need. So far, they have provided over 1,400 masks to various sites such as ANMC, Alaska Regional Hospital, Beans Cafe, Anchorage Health Department, USOJ Bear, Anchorage Fire Department, and more. ATMI senior producer Quinn White spoke with Sharon Kim, the group's founder, and Caitlyn Omey, their vice president and head of public relations, to talk about the work they are doing in our community. The interview was recorded remotely on July 21st, 2020.
Hi, my name is Sharon Kim. I am the founder of Mask Mission AK.
I'm Caitlyn Omey, and I'm the vice president and head of public relations for Mask Mission AK.
So what is Mask Mission AK?
Mask Mission AK is a youth-led organization started by a group of West High School students that focuses on advocating and promoting the importance of wearing masks. And we do this by taking action in donating and making these homemade masks to local organizations and educating the youth on the importance of why we need to wear them to lower the curve of the COVID-19.
Can you tell me about what inspired you to form this organization?
So a few months ago, as I noticed, more and more people start to work from home, and healthcare and service workers were being in the front lines of this pandemic and making so many sacrifices and having so much dedication to their services and work. And especially since my father is a nurse at Alaska Regional Hospital, I felt that I couldn't just sit around and wait for something to happen. So one day I just literally called up all the contacts on my phone and said, hey, let's do something, let's make masks, let's take action. We don't have to wait for something to happen, which was how it started.
How does the simple act of wearing a mask help keep others in our community safe?
Well, it's been recommended by many healthcare professionals that wearing a mask can prevent the spread of respiratory droplets that could carry COVID-19. So something as simple as just putting a cloth face covering over your face could save somebody's life. And we think that that's really important, that we're all out here just trying to save each other's lives.
What should people in our community know about wearing masks?
I think they should know that it's really not that hard. And if we all come together and do it, we could potentially really curb the spread of COVID-19 and get back to our lives as normal, because obviously that's what we all want. No one wants to live with a pandemic.
And we're doing this in hopes that even just one mask could help potentially save a person's life, which is what we want to do.
Absolutely. So can you guys tell me about some of your goals?
You know, this pandemic, it's not gonna slow down anytime soon, especially vaccines take over a year or two to make. And we just, as long as Caitlyn said in the past, as long as there's a need, we should continue to help supply. We should continue to educate and reiterate to the Alaskan youth and to our community why we should wear these masks. And that's what we're going to continue to keep doing.
So why is this kind of work important? It's
just important because we're humanity trying to help humanity. And just whether we're even though we're a youth group, we're of course focused on the well-being of our community as a whole, not just the youth. But we feel that the youth have so much power within them that they can really help to curb the spread, especially as we've seen with other current situations in our world. The youth has really taken a strong stance and they've really proven themselves.
How does your organization help benefit our community?
It started by a group of West High School students, started by youth. And we want to help lead as an example that we're not just sitting around waiting. We don't want to be a part of the problem. We want to help be a part of the solution. Kids are getting together to do something that will help save people's lives, help lower the curve of the COVID-19. And hopefully this will inspire others to feel like you don't have to just sit around and wait for something to happen. You could literally pick up some fabric and needle and start making a mask at home.
Can you explain the process of obtaining materials, making the masks, and getting them out to people in our community?
So most of our funds go from GoFundMe, and with that, we pre-ahead, we order fabrics, elastics on Amazon, and we have them at where I live. And then whenever someone requests an organization for some fabrics, we get it ready, put it outside on the porch, and they pick it up and they start making masks.
We also receive fabric and elastic donations sometimes, and those are greatly appreciated as well.
What kind of challenges are you facing, and how can our community support you?
One of the main issues or concerns that we have is we want to help promote this mission, the message that we're trying to spread under the entity of Mask Mission AK. And it's the summertime, people are starting to have fun, go out into nature. We would kindly request that anyone who has the time to spare to make masks, so then we could donate them under our entity of Mask Mission AK and hopefully get our name out in what our mission is and what we want to promote, so we can hopefully continue to do what we do.
Yeah, I think mainly our goal is just to get more people to make masks and just get involved. So any way that you can get involved is really appreciated, because we just would love to spread our goal and our mission and just help as many people as possible.
So what would you say to someone who's opposed to wearing a mask or believes that this is all some sort of hoax?
I think that, of course, we're seeing a lot of division in the wearing of masks. But what I would tell that person is just kindly to consider the lives of others. And it's really not that difficult. For most of us, we're just going outside for maybe an hour in a day. Just an hour of wearing a mask, it's not going to hurt you. And I understand those who have underlying health conditions and that, but maybe just encourage their other friends and family to wear a mask to protect themselves if they have underlying health conditions.
And when we're out about wearing masks, we have to come outside with the mindset that we're not just protecting ourselves, we're also protecting our family, our friends, our grandparents. It's not just for our well-being, but also for everyone else. So we should be considerate of what they think as well.
Absolutely. So you guys are getting ready to go back to West. How are you feeling about that?
Concerned, extremely concerned, especially with the fact that the IB diploma is a little concerning. There's not a set thing that's been made official, but all we can do is hope for the best, cross our fingers, and that we'll be able to graduate safely and happily.
I agree with Sharon. I think there's a lot of uncertainty surrounding the upcoming school year. This is difficult to process because for years, for our entire lives, we've just expected to go back to school in the fall and things will be as normal, but this year's certainly a little different. So we don't know what to expect. And at this point, all we can do is just spread the use of masks. And if we have to go back to school, encourage people to use them.
Do you think once you get back to school, you're going to be able to use the skills that you've learned at Mask Mission AK to help create a positive attitude around, about wearing masks at West?
I think we will be able to. We have a decent social media audience. However, we're looking to expand that. But we found that a lot of our peers follow us on social media and are heavily involved in that. So in theory, they should be relatively educated on what's going on based off of our posts.
What are you both looking forward to the most about normal life once the pandemic is over?
Socialization. But
I hear you, girl.
Yeah.
I think I really miss sitting down in restaurants and just being with your friends, and that was a good time. So
truly a simpler time.
Yes.
Right. It's crazy to think about how just, a few months ago, we went from chilling with our friends to where we are now.
Absolutely.
So is there anything else you'd like to add?
I would want to say, please do not lose hope. Please stay strong. Please stay safe. Please wear a mask so you can protect yourself your family, your friends, your grandparents, someone else's grandparents, and to continue living. Yay.
What Sharon said.
So where can people go to learn more about Mask Mission AK?
So you can find us on most social media platforms, so Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Mask Mission AK. You can also contact us at maskmissionak at gmail.com. And we also have a blog. I believe that's maskmissionak.wix. However, if you go to one of our social media pages, it's already linked on there. So we're relatively interconnected, and we'd love to get connected with you.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I really appreciate your guys' time today. And this was really great.
Thank you.
Sweet.
Thank you.
That was Sharon Kim and Caitlyn Omey of Mask Mission AK speaking with ATMI senior producer Quinn White. You've been listening to Podcast in Place, Youth Stories from Quarantine from Alaska Teen Media Institute. Our show's theme music was composed by Devin Schreckengost. Stay tuned for more stories from quarantined youth. You can find these stories at alaskateenmedia.org, where we have included resources for youth during quarantine as part of a partnership with the State of Alaska Division of Behavioral Health. Many thanks to supporters of our podcast, including United Way of Anchorage, the National Endowment for the Humanities, and the Rasmuson Foundation through the Arts and Education Fund administered under contract by the Alaska State Council on the Arts. Thanks to our listeners who contribute to our programs and help us leverage additional funds and grants. If you'd like to support Youth Voices in Anchorage and help keep our podcast going, you can donate to our organization by going to alaskateenmedia.org and clicking Donate. Also on our website, you can learn more about what our organization does, listen to past episodes of our podcast, or find out how you too can get involved. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. For Alaska Teen Media Institute, I'm Ormund Alaois. Thanks for listening. Stay safe out there. We'll get through this together.